Going live. All right. Good morning, Mehuman. And how are you this morning, my dear friend?
You know, I am well rested, and I couldn't have said that before last night. I got some sleep, and I feel like a new person. I'm also really jazzed up with some very strong espresso.
Oh, nice.
And I spent the morning listening to our guest music, and last night, and reading, and this. I'm really jazzed up for this show. I'm excited. I need to tone it down, I think. I feel like I'm loud and boisterous today because I'm so excited. At least, you know.
You seem great. Your energy seems perfect. Don't even think. Forget about it. Let's sing a song, shall we?
I'm so excited.
When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling bad, there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time. You don't need a reason. You don't need a rhyme to write a postcard. P.O. Box 1252. Just write a postcard. 04098. Just write a postcard. Westbrook, Maine, to Westbrook, Maine. 'Cause Grandma loves this show. Well, welcome to Postcards, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited today. I am in the Postcards Woodstock, New York Annex, which is the studio of my sister-in-law, because I am here in Woodstock picking up my nephew to bring him back to Maine, which is a very happy occasion. I haven't seen him when I arrived last night. I hadn't seen him in 2 years.
Wow. 2 years in a teenager's life is a big deal. He must be a different person.
He is a different person. He's about a foot taller. I kid you not. I kid you not. So we are so excited to be here together today. And you're not in the Westbrook Annex. You're out at Lake Sebago with an incredible view of the lake.
Incredible view. Can you hear it? Hear the waves? Hear the ducks, the crickets, and the stuff going by?
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, and we have like a whole passel of listeners this morning. Y'all are great. We're so excited that every single one of you are here. Thanks for all the great comments already. We are just overflowing with goodness this morning. We have David Gans in the house, all the way from Oakland, California, already on his second cup of coffee, ready to roll, got songs at the ready, voice at the ready. We also have a sponsor this morning, so I hear. Is that true?
We do.
Okay.
And, a word from our sponsor, and I'm just going to stay way far from this sponsor today.
Okay.
And join me, sponsored on this. I think there he is. Whoa. Okay.
Good morning, everybody in Postcard Land.
Okay.
My name is
Jeffrey,
and today we're doing caterpillar grooming. This is a very serious issue, and it needs to be taken care of. These things are very hairy, as you can see. Yeah. And we just like to trim them a little bit, get them trimmed up so they look nice for you.
Oh,
if you're interested in this service, you can reach us just at 1-800-CLIP for you.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you, Jeffrey. Now, first of all, thank you so much for being a sponsor on Postcards. I just wanted to let you know that you can write us a postcard at P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine, 04098. We will read it on the show. We will keep sharing that address during this time. But I'm curious about, what's your billing process?
Well, it's per caterpillar. It's not very much. I mean, they're very small. It's pretty quick, really.
Okay.
Just takes a couple minutes or so per caterpillar. But if you have a whole collection, we can give a discount, a volume discount, of course.
Okay, great. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, listen, Jeffrey's Caterpillar Clips, 1-800-CLIPS. Thank you so much for being on Postcards. We appreciate your support. Good luck with your business. We're really proud of you. Entrepreneurs in Maine, we got to support you too. So right on. Anybody wanting to get in touch with Jeffrey's Caterpillar Clipping Service, just write to us, P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine, 04098. We can hook you right up. And, this is the thing about Maine. It's so full of creative people coming up with creative ways to make a living, and And this year we do have quite a few brown-tailed moth caterpillars. So, people might have a little collection of them in their tree, and they might need to have their hairs clipped.
Yes, they look so much better. Ours are all groomed now, and we get so many compliments on their. You can see their little personalities much better with all that, all that trimmed up. So, yuck, no bueno. But PSA, don't try not to touch the caterpillars, folks, because their little spines can cause you to get a really nasty rash.
Well, that's true, and that's why they need to be trimmed.
Yes, that's why they should be trimmed.
Well, it's sort of like, if you're keeping a tiger, you need to keep it in a cage. If you're keeping caterpillars, you need to trim their hair so you don't get stung. It's sort of like taking the glands out of I was going to say a rooster, but that's not right.
There are a few poisonous roosters in Maine.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any poisonous roosters on Earth, actually, but if they were, they probably wouldn't be.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, you heard it here first. People write to us. P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine 04098. I don't think we have any mail today because I'm in Westbrook. I'm in Woodstock, New York, and you are all the way out Lake Sebago. So write to us. We need postcards. P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine 04098. We would love to hear from you. And we make a really big deal about postcards on this show. So just write to us, and you'll be celebrated.
And then you can actually qualify for the end of summer Posty Awards.
It's going to be in August. Posty is going to be sometime in August. Yeah.
So we need to get your cards in so you can be a qualifier for the end of summer Posties 2 celebration.
Yeah. And once I'm back in the home studio, I will do a review of the amazing postcards we've gotten in the last couple of months. We have some absolute doozies. We got a picture of Grandma. We've got all kinds of amazing things that have come, and they're on the Wall of Fame in the Postcard Studio in Portland, Maine. So anyway, stay tuned. Join us. Follow us on Facebook. And we're so glad to have an incredible guest here today. Did I forget anything in the intro, or can we just go ahead and bring this amazing person in?
Oh, we can. I'm just digging on all these books behind you. And whose room are you in right now?
Oh, okay. So quick intro before we bring in the very amazing David Gans, all the way from Oakland. I am in my sister-in-law's studio. She's a children's book author. In fact, she's just brought out her first book. It came out from Shambhala. It's called Kuan Yin, and it's beautifully, masterfully illustrated. She did the writing, and the illustrations are incredible. It's gotten tons of amazing reviews. It's selling like hotcakes. Get your copy. You can get a signed copy directly from her. And if you want to know more about that book, I will. I don't have all the details right here at the ready, but she's got books on psychology. She's got books on Buddhism. She's got books on.
What's your sister-in-law's name? What's her name?
Her name is Maya Vandermeer.
Maya. Oh, hi, Maya.
Yeah. So that's my nephew's mom, and so I'm very happily ensconced in. This is where I sleep. There's a nice guest room here and a little meditation spot, and it's just super nice. So, and
we'll interview Maya sometime. That'd be wonderful.
So we should totally do that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Now that her book's out and she's gotten through that process, and now she's married. She got through her wedding. I think we could approach her, and maybe she'd say yes. That would be so fun. That'd be really fun. So,
today we've got David Gans.
Okay.
We've got David Gans.
David Gans. So I think we should just bring him in, shall we? Sure. Okay, David, we cannot wait to talk to you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Welcome to Postcards. Good morning. How are you?
I'm wide awake, thank you. I actually get up at 6 o'clock every morning, so you think you might be causing a musician to get up too early, but I guess I'm not a typical musician in that respect.
Yeah, well, some of us could use a little more of that 6 a.m. energy, but I'm just going to tell you, it's not my hour.
It's not your hour. I'm a morning late bird. I like early mornings and late nights, so I totally get it.
So when do you sleep?
I don't. That's one of my challenges. I go to bed about 12 or 1, and I get up with the sun about 5:30, and so sleep. I'll sleep when some point.
Well,
I slept last night. I slept last night.
We used to, the chorus back when I was in college was "Sleep when you're dead," which
I know. I didn't want to say that, but.
That's not really right. That's not really right.
But it's actually kind of a cool thing, because I was trying to think about names of things I could use the word dead in, because of Grateful Dead and some of the things we're going to talk about today. And sleep when you're dead is actually kind of a cool I know this sounds interesting to me. Where's that come from? So
It came from Warren Zevon, who wrote a song called "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead," and it was very much a sort of anthem for people who are driving themselves, over the edge.
Batty, yeah. And you interviewed Warren Zevon,
I
so
did once in 1982. It was a really,
wow,
really interesting experience. Yeah.
that's very cool. So, as you may have guessed, we have a bit of a historian, would you say? A journalist, songwriter, book author. David, like, how many things have you not done is probably a better question.
Well, I everything that I do in this life is I'm very fortunate to have been able to earn a living doing music related things my entire adult life. But everything that I've done really emanates from a moment when I was 15 years old when I wrote my first song. I had an older brother and a younger sister who both played guitar. I was playing the clarinet in school orchestras and stuff, but when I was 15, I was writing this tortured teenage poetry stuff, and my brother took a couple of those and set them to music, which I found out later he'd basically stolen the music from other songs. But it got me started. The first couple of things I ever played on guitar were my own songs that I'd written with my brother's help. And from then on, it's all I ever really wanted to do. And I kind of farted around in college for a couple of years, but didn't really do much there. And I wandered into journalism and stuff as a way to learn more about music and to meet people and make contacts and stuff. And so everything that I've done has been in service of trying to be a musician and do more music related stuff. So I spent 10 years being a music journalist and wrote for magazines and stuff, and just had a great time and met a zillion people. And I got to interview Leo Fender and Les Paul and the guy who produced the Doobie Brothers albums, and Joe Walsh and Pat Benatar. And
Right on.
it was a really wonderful 10 years of learning and finding out how the world, the music world works. And then I sort of became a specialist in the Grateful Dead and accidentally got into doing a radio show about the Grateful Dead and stuff. But really, everything that I've done emanates from the fact that I've been writing songs since I was 15 years old. And that's been my main, primary, and first interest in life.
We're kind of like into words, so we looked up the meaning, the old English meaning of your name, and it came up as to go or to win, to have a destination, arrive there indirectly, and that kind of like has synergy with what you're sharing about how you accidentally became a aficionado on Grateful Dead and getting to do all this music related stuff. It landed, or was there loads of intention behind it, or just like following the
No,
songs?
I've led an entirely improvised life. I don't know where you researched that name. My name is German for goose. And
Goose.
my father researched our family roots. I am an actual genuine bohemian. My father traced our family lineage back to Prague, and I seem to be a descendant of a very famous astronomer named David Gans, who's buried there. And over the years, I've gotten many people who visited Prague sent me photos of this gravestone of my namesake. But anyway,
English.
I'm
We
a
looked under
genuine
English.
bohemian. Sorry?
We looked under English, but
Huh.
we didn't look under German. We looked under English and we looked under Japanese. So we picked we selected English.
I don't know about any of that stuff. But to answer your question, I have never made much of a plan in my entire life. I was a lazy, misguided kid, and gradually found my focus. As I said, the day that I wrote that first song, I kind of set myself on the path. That was the day I became a musician, I think.
What was
And
that first song? Do you remember what that first song was? And could you?
I have a vague memory of it. I believe my brother stole the licks from either a Donovan or a Buffy St. Marie song. I forget which, but it was an entirely forgettable lyric, which I would never, ever recite to you now. Because I was 15 years old, a very horny young man, and not really have anything useful to say at that time.
I'm just
But
picking up.
I have gone back and listened to some of the music, and I do believe I had some talent as a songwriter from the beginning because I recently found a tape of a broadcast that I did in December of 1972. I showed up on a local public station in Los Gatos, California, and played an hour of original music. And some of the lyrics are a little bit immature, I think, but I was pretty pleased with my musical offerings, that I already had some, that I wasn't just writing three chord stuff. So I do feel like I had some promise in the beginning and that I was right to persevere on it. But everything that's happened to me basically has been a door that opened in front of me, and I'll only take credit for being smart enough to step through it. But many of the best things that ever happened to me happened without my intervention. Like I started doing when my first book came out. I showed up on on KFOG to appear on their Grateful Dead show, the KFOG Deadhead Hour, and I had a great time producing a segment for them. And joined a group of people that was providing tapes to the host of the show, and eventually the station asked me to take it over. So I became the host of the KFOG Deadhead Hour without really intending to, but I was enjoying the work. And then other stations started calling and asking if they could carry the show too. So I never planned to create a nationally syndicated radio show, but one happened. And I'm still producing and distributing that radio show. And again, I never intended for it. It just freaking happened.
And do you think that was kind of like a part of the impact of that of your book, playing in the band?
Yeah, I went playing in the band came out in the spring of '85, and I appeared on the KFOG Deadhead Hour in February of '85 to promote the book.
Yeah.
But to go back another step, I didn't form the intention to write that book. I was a journalist. I went to Jamaica in November of 1982 as a journalist to cover the Jamaica World Music Festival, where the Grateful Dead and Bob Weir and his band were playing. And there I met Peter Simon, the photographer and author, and he was there starting to work on a book about the Grateful Dead. So I introduced myself to him and hung out with him and schmoozed him up and asked if he might be interested in some of my photos, whatever. What I did not know was that in Jamaica on that trip, Peter and his editor met with Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead, and Phil told them they should hire me to write the text for Peter's book.
Wow.
And I did not find that out. They called me later and asked me if I wanted to do the text, and I said, yes, of course.
Wow.
But I, again, did not form that. I did not campaign for that. The opportunity to do the book was delivered to me.
Yeah.
And all I can say is that I was smart enough to say yes to that offer, but I did not campaign to make that book happen. So many of the best things in my life were offered to me without my having to go out and look for them. And I don't know what makes me such a lucky person, but I sure as hell am.
Well, we're grateful you were smart enough to step through those doors because it's benefited so many people. I was wondering what is the most interesting feedback you ever got from your work or from the book or the show? Because the work that you do and the work of keeping alive the history and the music of the Grateful Dead, you meet all kinds of people, the whole world.
I can't tell you one particular favorite moment, but one of my favorite things about my life now is that when I'm out there going around the country playing music, people will come up to me and introduce themselves and say, I got into the Grateful Dead because I heard your show one night. And one of my standard jokes when I meet people like that is, well, I hope your parents have forgiven me. But really, turning people on to this music has been my mission for all these years. And so when I meet somebody whose life was changed by that music, it just makes me proud,
Yeah.
To me, that's happened to me hundreds of times in my 20 plus years of touring. And that's just the most gratifying thing was if I helped you find this. And this culture is so particular and specific, and so many people don't like it. People will tell you they hate the Grateful Dead, and if you scratch the surface and ask them why, it turns out they don't like hippies very much. They won't even really listen to the music.
Mhm.
But this if you like this music, you really, really, really like this music. A friend of mine once said when she became a Deadhead, she said it's like I had been a Martian all my life, and the Martians finally landed.
I love
And
that.
that, and
Oh
that
my
thing,
God, that's a good
so,
one.
so to have been able to connect people with the music that became the soundtrack of their lives is such a wonderful thing, because like where would they be if they hadn't got turned on to the Grateful Dead, if they had not found the music that so connects for them like it does for me, right? So having been an evangelist of this music and having brought so many people into the tribe is really the greatest source of pride.
Yeah, I saw a video of yours where you introduced the song saying for people who think they don't like the Grateful Dead.
Right.
And I was wondering if you want to play that song or play another one,
Sure.
yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, I know exactly the clip you're talking about. It was introducing a song called "Lazy River Road" at Lake Piru in Southern California. I remember that music festival very well, and I love that clip. The Grateful Dead wrote so many great songs, and that's another one of those things. Again, I said people think they don't like the Grateful Dead, but if you ask them, it turns out they don't like the stereotype of the hippie Grateful Dead fan, right? But I also say to them, if you think you don't like the Grateful Dead, how much music do you have to hate to not like the Grateful Dead? Because they played so many different kinds of music. They played country, they played blues, they played Chuck Berry,
Jazz, all
they
kinds of
played
stuff.
beautiful original songs, they sang folk ballads.
Yeah.
So you have to really dislike a lot of music, or you have to really search through a lot of Grateful Dead music to find something you don't like.
Yeah.
And so and they wrote so many great songs too. So I'm going to play one of my favorite, the one uh, that we were just talking about is this song, and it's not, it's a beautiful piece of Americana that of course you're going to like it. It's a beautiful piece of Americana. Excuse me, let me turn down my guitar. Way down upon Sycamore Slough, a white man sings the blues, selling roses of paper mache, flecks of starlight dew. Swiped a bunch, threw it your way, where hazy moonlight glows. Way down, down along the lazy river road. Way down upon Shadow Ford, end of the avenue. Run, hide, seek in your own backyard. Your mama's backyard won't do. All night long I sing love's sweet song down where the water flows. Way down, down along the lazy river road. Moonlight wails as hound dogs bay, never quite catch the tune. Stars fall down in buckets like rain till there ain't no standing room. Bright blue boxcars, train by train, clatter wild dreams unfold. way down, down along the lazy river road. Way down upon Shadow Fall, end of the belly of the river tide. Call for me and I will be there, in the time of a taxi ride. Nighttime double clutches into day, like a truck downshifting its load. Way down, down along the lazy river road. Thread the needle right through the eye, thread that runs so true. All the others I let pass by, I only wanted you. Never cared much for careless love, but oh, how your bright eyes glow. Way down, down along the lazy river road. Way down, down along the lazy river road. Way down, down along the lazy river road.
David Gans here on Postcards. It was absolutely exquisite. I can't believe I haven't ever met you. And thank God for Emily Hansen, who is the connector of people across the globe.
Sure is.
A big shout out to Emily. I just have been sharing all of these comments that are coming in on this because you have such an amazing, beautiful, loving community. And I can't even imagine what it's like when we're all together. But just the way people are loving on each other and supporting each other, the word community.
We did meet David during Magnolia Road's last showdown.
Oh yeah,
so shout out to Emily for that, because
that's true.
The Magnolia Road Showdown has brought so many amazing people to us, and especially David. So
especially this summer because she's doing all her booking. But I was mentioning to Mehuman in the back bit here when you were playing was that I wanted to bring up community, and one of the I was the Grateful Dead. I've been a Grateful Dead fan for a long time. I was heavily into them when I was a teenager, as a lot of people were, and kind of found my way actually into traditional fiddle music because of them, because of American Beauty and the mandolin playing on Ripple. That was actually what triggered my fire and excitement about creating music. I started learning to play mandolin. But the thing that I was thinking about, building community around music is for both Mehuman and I is an absolute passion. And so I don't know, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that word community and just see how masterfully and beautifully your life has you have an incredible community around you. That's all
I
I'm going to say.
do, and I joined one. I mean, the Grateful Dead thing, I didn't realize at the time. I just went for the music. I started going in 1972, and I went there as a musician and got my whole life, my whole musical sensibility just refreshed and expanded and turned into a whole new thing by the Grateful Dead. And then recognized over time that I had joined a community. I interviewed various heads about this. Steve Silburn, who went on to a wonderful career as an author, wrote a book about autism recently called Neurotribes that's won awards.
Cool.
Anyway, Steve said, I didn't set out to become a deadhead. I just went to a dead show, and I went to another dead show, and then I went to another dead show. And 20 years later, I've been going to dead shows with the same group of people for all my life, you know. And when I first interviewed John Perry Barlow, who was one of the lyricists of the Grateful Dead, he talked
At
about
my university.
he talked about growing up in Wyoming. He said, even if you don't like your neighbor, if you get stuck, your neighbor's going to come and bail you out. That's what
That's right.
community is about. He said,
Yeah.
and the Grateful Dead community is a community without a physical location because the community exists wherever the music is. And we found that out in 1986. I co-founded an online community on a system called The Well, which is still my online home, well.com. We started a Deadhead community there on that principle that people want to talk about this. It matters to them, and they're not all in the same place because after the show, they go home to wherever they are. So we discovered that cyberspace, which is a place with no physical location, was a perfect place for this community with no physical location to meet. And it turned out from the early days of what later became known as the internet, Grateful Dead was one of the killer apps for organizing. One of the very first news groups in the early days of Usenet was a Grateful Dead group. So I've been practicing community, and I've been a member of all of these overlapping communities all these years. You know, I'm a member of various tribes of fans that went to shows together, traveled together, and stuff like that. So we all belong to lots of different communities that all filter through this one portal, right?
Yeah.
And then I have had this great good fortune. Last year, when all the gigs dried up, I was sitting at home thinking, okay, I better schedule a live show. And I started looking at who's doing what. And I realized if I waited till nobody else was doing anything, I'd never play. So I decided to start playing every day and just see what happens. And I started on April 4th of last year, I started playing an hour set every day. And then I hooked up with Deadhead Land and joined there. I do their Monday thing at a different time, but Tuesday through Sunday, I play from 4 to 5 on my own thing. And all these people that are here today, Firefly and Jay Douglas and Jill and all these lovely people, they all started coming to this thing every day, and they all come every day, and they formed a community around my thing.
Wow.
And I've said this a couple of times in when this comes up. I have never felt more appreciated and more heard as a musician than I do today because of this couple of dozen people that come every day and just really have formed a community among themselves, and these friendships are going to last forever. I love these people. I mean,
Oh
they've
my
been
God.
so amazingly good to me and good to each other in throughout this whole thing. And I keep track of what I play every day, and I get requests from them in the morning. And I don't make a set list every day. I keep a spreadsheet of all the songs that I've played, and then I have a file that I call aging, where I have the songs in chronological order, and I take off the last 4 days of songs that I played so that I don't play anything more than every fifth day, right? So I keep the set list fresh, but I make a menu every day, not a set list of songs that are sort of, you know, up for consideration, and then I'll sort of keep myself surprised by looking at the list and picking the first song that jumps out at me rather than making a conscious decision to pick a song. And I'm doing all of this with this tremendous amount of encouragement from all these people, and knowing that they're listening and paying attention, and that it matters to them too. It's just a great feeling.
That is a perfect perfect segue into another song. We don't want to mess up. We don't want to mess up the menu, but I am known for going to a restaurant and saying, what's the soup of the day or whatever, and can I get a double portion of it? So, whatever you got, we want to feast on it. So we'd love to hear another song.
And if I may, right before you go into another song, I want to do a quick station ID. If you're just joining us, you are listening to Postcards. We are coming to you live from Woodstock, New York, Lake Sebago, Maine, and Oakland, California, with the very amazing David Gans and his incredible community of people. You guys are awesome. I cannot even keep up with the comments. You can write us a postcard, P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine, 04098. And to draw on something that Firefly just posted a little bit ago, music has no borders. And Mehuman and I think I can speak maybe for you too. We here at Postcards, we totally believe that, and we're all about community. And so we're just so honored to have you, one of the biggest community builders around music in the United States, here with us today. So that's my bit. And now I'm going to shut up and let you play, David.
One people, one world. Love it.
Can I play that song that I showed you just before we went on?
Yeah, sure. That'd be perfect.
Awesome.
This song took a long time. I had the idea for this song about 10 years ago, but it took several years of sort of percolating in the back of my mind to finish itself. And it really sort of took the MAGA era to make it happen. This song is about that irritating person down at the end of the bar who won't shut the... Anyway. He spends his whole workday unmanned and unnerved, goes out every night for the fun he deserves. 9 times out of 10 he is way overserved, and then he begins to declaim of conspiracies, fake news, and blame. And I say, I don't want to be in your movie today. It's a role I'm not prepared to play. I don't want to be in your movie today. Coyote, there is just no comprehending these metaphors you're trying to put in play. And when I start to feel my patience ending, that's when I know it's time to step away. I don't want to be in your movie today. It's a role I'm not prepared to play. I don't want to be in your movie today. You run with these preposterous presumptions, demanding I believe it 'cause you say. But I'd prefer to trust my higher functions and focus on reality today. Your natterings evince no introspection. I find that there's no reason in your rhyme, and standing here deflecting your projections is not the way I choose to spend my time. And I don't want to be in your movie today. It's a role I'm not prepared to play. I don't want to be in your movie today. I don't want to be in your movie today. I don't want to be in your movie today.
Oh my God.
I love that. David, I've already worked up a background part for that song. So cool. I don't wanna be that's so cool. And I actually do want to be in that movie if you're in it. So there you go.
Sweetie guys.
Oh my gosh, David! You know what? I am just so blown away. I just have to say by the number of comments that we are getting here, and that I just can't even keep up with you, this incredible bunch of people. You know, we thought we were having
them either.
I know. Well, I thought we were getting, it's like we're getting one person on the show, and there'll be the three of us talking, and it's been this brilliant interchange. So I am. Thank you for bringing the posse. Oh my God, this is so fun. Where was I going to go with this? I had a question for you. Now, what was the first song, if you remember, either the first Grateful Dead song that really grabbed you?
Yeah, good question.
That's a really fun question. I went, after I became a fan of the Grateful Dead, I realized that there were a couple songs that I had heard when I was very young, like in '67 on KMPX in San Francisco, that I didn't realize were the Grateful Dead. I realized that I had heard Viola Lee Blues and New Minglewood Blues and the Golden Road a bunch of times. Didn't really register that was the Grateful Dead. When I first saw the Grateful Dead in March of 1972, after my songwriting partner had been bugging me for months to go see them, we took what turned out to be a gigantic dose of LSD. And our friend Dennis Driver drove us from San Jose up to San Francisco. And we were late to the show for various reasons and wound up in the top row of Winterland, which was packed. It must have been 140 degrees up there. And I was just blazing, and little bits of it stuck to my mind, and I later went home and did the research and figured out what those things were. So little bits of things were just etched in my mind, and it turned out that they were the single. I think the one song that most impressed me and grabbed me turned out to be "Greatest Story Ever Told," which is this amazing example of Bob Weir's utterly unique guitar playing style. And the Dead, seriously, I was so overwhelmed by this massive dose of acid and stuff that I was just like sorting out the inputs for days afterwards. And I got the records and started listening, and I realized that I'd heard all these songs like Bertha and Good Lovin', of course, was the only time I ever saw Pigpen was that night, and did a really big version of Good Lovin' and stuff. So I guess I would say that Greatest Story Ever Told was kind of the first Grateful Dead song that I recognized as a Grateful Dead song that began my process of understanding what was utterly unique about the Grateful Dead. And Jerry Garcia was the charismatic focus of the thing and the center of it and the sort of soul focus of the Grateful Dead, but musically it was an absolute democracy, and every one of those guys was a genius on his instrument. And what Bob Weir does as the quote rhythm guitar is unlike any other musician. And there's I've learned so much from all of those musicians. And when you hear me play guitar, you'll hear Jerry and Bob and Phil Leshin my playing as well and stuff. But it was that the unique aspects of Bob's playing are one of the ways you can get hooked on the Grateful Dead. You go, oh, well, that guy's not standing there playing. Rhythm guitar isn't just this, like Proud Mary. That's rhythm guitar. John Lennon is rhythm guitar, right? All those, oh yeah, I tell you something. Bob Weir was doing something else entirely. In this documentary about him later, he was describing his rhythm guitar playing as like McCoy Tyner's left hand. He was playing what a jazz piano player is doing in this music, and he's putting little stabs in instead of big long dollops of it. He's not laying on his guitar playing with a trowel. He's laying it on with a fine brush.
Definitely comping. I love that. Like that's definitely comping, that style of like the way you kind of voice. Well, like with cello, I play cello and a little bit of keyboard.
Oh, great. I love the cello.
And that's what we do. We kind of fill in little pretty spots with stuff that, tasty bits. I call them tasty bits.
Okay, you play the cello, so you understand the concept of Grateful Dead as chamber music. Like a lot of times, like Morning Dew is a great example on Europe '72. Everybody's playing like simple stuff, but it interlocks into this thing that's much bigger than what each individual is doing. And there's all this space. You can tell who's doing what because it's an uncluttered sound. It's like a string quartet. What the cello does and what the viola does, they interlock. They create something that's much bigger than any individual voice, right?
Yeah, the patient conversation.
Yeah,
a very patient conversation because you make space for each other, but you have to listen and you have to be engaged. So it's just we sit and talk.
Yeah,
I've had so many wonderful, and one of my favorite musicians is a local guy named Jeff Hobbs that plays. He played like 7 or 8 different instruments on my last record, and we just did a show together last week, and he brought his cello. But before that, I did a recording session. I have a cousin who's a conservatory trained cellist. His name is Stephen Katz, and he lives out in Northampton, Mass. And he came through town on vacation in April, and I said, we got to go record. I got to see what this is like. And we sat down together in the studio, me on acoustic and him on his cello. And we did a session in the afternoon. We just immediately clicked as improvisers and did a couple of hours worth of purely improvised music that I recorded and I've edited and mixed, and now I'm going to look for a record label to put it out. It's pure improvisation, just guitar and cello, and I loved playing with my cousin so much.
I just looked up your cousin.
You want it?
I just looked up your cousin. Let him know I'm calling him.
Music.
I just looked him up.
He does Saturday mornings. He does an online improvisation every Saturday morning, and one of his things is that he does improvisation with dance companies. He'll play his cello for dancers. Doesn't that sound like fun?
That sounds like perfect fun.
I feel a trip to California coming on, Mehuman. Do you feel it?
I do, especially Oakland, because I got people out there, got family, got friends. So
we got great food in Oakland too, and great weather most of the time.
I think there was a little bag buried in the hundreds of comments that we've got that was about a Grateful Dead song. And none in particular, but do you have a particular Grateful Dead song that you would like to play this morning?
Am I missing a hint here about a specific one, or would you?
No. There was no. I can't even remember who it was. One of your
gangsters. I like that.
One of your gangsters was like, make him play a Grateful Dead song. So there. I'm just obeying the sort of like vibe in the room,
While you're thinking about it, David, you were going to tell us about that mural behind you. We were going to ask you about the mural behind you.
Oh yeah,
the picture.
Oh, this is I'm blanking on the woman's name now, which is a terrible thing to do. This is actually a batik of my guitar, of this guitar. This guitar is a Rick Turner Renaissance RS6. It's an amazing instrument. Look up Rick Turner guitars. I've been playing Rick's instruments since 1981, and I just love this instrument so much. And this batik is a picture of this guitar. A woman in Kentucky. I hope I'll probably remember her name as soon as this program ends. I'm just embarrassed as hell that I've forgotten her name, but she made this and gave this to me, and I carried it around for a really long time thinking, man, I wish I was in a situation to like actually use a backdrop on stage. And when I started doing these daily things, this is a CD rack behind here, you see. So I use this to cover the CD rack and make like a perfect sunshiny backdrop for me.
It's awesome.
Later I'll remember her name and put it up here. I'm very sorry.
No worries. We can always post it. You let us know it and we can post it in the credits. But
okay.
She's very talented and it's perfect. It's beautiful.
And it matches your personality and the personality of this amazing community that you've got with you.
Well, I do have a sunny personality because I'm an incredibly lucky man. I married the finest human being I've ever known, and we have 2 cats, and I have this amazing community around me. and I've gotten to make a living doing music-related things for the last 60 years, and so I really have very little to complain about in life. So can I play a Grateful Dead song for you?
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely, absolutely. David Gans here on Postcards. We're so happy to have you.
All right. Look out of any window, any morning, any evening, any day. Maybe the sun is shining, birds are winging, or rain is falling from a heavy sky. What do you want me to do for you to see you through? For this is all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk out of any doorway, feel your way like the day before. Maybe you'll find direction around some corner where it's been waiting to meet you. What do you want me to do to watch for you while you're sleeping? Well, please don't be surprised when you find me dreaming too. Look into any eyes you find by you can see clear to another day. Maybe been seen before through other eyes on other days while going home. What do you want me to do for you to see you through? It's all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk into splintered sunlight, inch your way through dead dreams to another land. Maybe you're tired and broken, your tongue is twisted with words half spoken and thoughts unclear. What do you want me to do for you to see you through? A box of rain will ease the pain and love will see you through. Just a box of rain, wind and water. Believe it if you need it. If you don't, just pass it on. Sun and shower, wind and rain. In and out the window like a moth before a flame. and it's just a box of rain. I don't know who put it there. Believe it if you need it, or leave it if you dare. And it's just a box of rain, or a ribbon for your hair. Such a long, long time to be gone, and a short time to be there.
Oh my God, David, you brought tears to my eyes and chills from head to toe for the second time during this last hour. So beautiful, and so amazing to touch these songs again. You know, I've been away from the Grateful Dead for a little while, and you're just reminding me how deep it is in my musical DNA. And as are your many fans with us today, I just want to say another shout out to all you amazing people who've been leaving comments and making our show roll like a giant concert of love and grilled cheese sandwiches.
Thank you, Emily Hansen, again from Magnolia Road.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Every time you say grilled cheese, I think of Emily. It's just
I know. Emily Hansen is the connector, the babe, the queen. We love you, Emily, and thank you for
delicious and wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I once walked out of a Grateful Dead concert. The encore started. I want to get out ahead of the traffic and stuff, so I went out through the backstage load in, you know, and walked out toward the parking lot. And as I was stepping out into the parking lot, a back of a van opened, and this guy busted out of the van with a steaming plate of grilled cheese. It was like a scene out of a Frank Capra movie. It was like, I was like, oh boy, how much? And he goes, $1. And I handed him $1, and it was like the perfect grilled cheese sandwich. It was like just this exact great grilled cheese moment. It was probably a crap sandwich, but it was just exactly what the moment required.
I do believe you're aptly named. You are the Golden Gan, the Golden Goose Gan, because I mean your life, and then you get you get $1 grilled cheese sandwich on cue. That's crazy. I mean,
sometimes the universe delivers grilled cheese, right, Emily?
Okay. That is sometimes the universe delivers grilled cheese. Wow. Well, David Gans, you know, we are out. We're just about out of time. We're coming up on noon. I hate to say goodbye, but we have to in order to say hello.
See you later. Then. Let's say see you
later because
let's do this again.
Unbeknownst to you, your gangsters are jumping us into their group. Your group.
Good.
And
You're
so I consider myself duly collected into the community around you and with you, and we've been so grateful to have you here today. Been amazing. I can't believe the time just flew by.
And you have
it always does on these things, doesn't it? The same thing happens. I do a 2-hour call-in show, and it's just amazing how fast it goes. Because you know, when you got good people, the conversation just flows. You know.
Yeah. You now have family in Maine too, by the way. Anytime you and Rita are up here, bring the cats. Percy and Ringo are welcome.
We are not bringing our cats to Maine, but we might come up again. We've had great times in Maine. I mentioned to you before.
Oh God, please come to Maine. Please come to Maine. Let's do a show. We'll get and we'll tell everybody where it is and see how many, and put some grilled cheese out. See how many of these cats show up.
Yeah.
Well, if you've been listening to Postcards. We are broadcasting today from Lake Sebago, Maine, and Woodstock, New York. Normally we're in Portland and Westbrook, but we are on the road today, and we do have a very big thank you to give to you, David Gans, for sharing your music, sharing your stories, sharing your incredible vibes, and your friends and community with us, because we have been blown away by the love and just fun Yeah. I don't even know what to say. But we have a lot. Let's see. We had one more thing we wanted to mention. You have some merchandise for sale. I wanted to put up the information about that. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and I'll put up the info.
Almost everybody in this group is already well aware of this, but I'm doing what I unofficially call the cash flow sale here this month. All the way through the month of July, I'm taking 20% off of everything. My online store is called perfectible.net. And I have books and music. I've got 2 books for sale there, Conversations with the Dead and This Is All a Dream We Dreamed, an oral history of the Grateful Dead. I have a dozen CDs of original material and Grateful Dead stuff. And I have this wonderful mug. One of our green room pals, Erica Albright, created these mugs and makes them.
One more time, please. One more time so we can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's my logo, which I thought up on
that's
also
cool.
while tripping some years back.
Awesome.
And she also made another one. I have a song called Blue Roses, and she made a mug. She drew a blue rose herself and made a mug for that too. So that's also available from perfectible.net. Who's that?
This is Shooty, who has 2 cat sisters, a sister cat and a brother cat. Oh. But this is Shooty the dog.
Doggy kisses. Yay. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want one of those.
Shooty usually pops in right about now. It's usually like the last couple minutes of the show. Shooty just can't wait anymore.
It's his lunchtime. He's like, it's time to eat, Mama.
Yeah. So if we didn't get to your comments, please forgive us. We have been so grateful to have the blessing of so many people listening today and joining us. And we're so excited that a bunch of you are like, yay, Postcards, I'm going to follow you, because we're on during the summer. We're on every Thursday at 11 to 12. We have a great lineup. Next week, we have Taylor Crop joining us. Emily Hanson from Magnolia Roads in Las Vegas has been booking us this summer and bringing incredible people like David into our midst. And so I have one last request, which is that we're going to go out in the key of C sharp. And
C
sharp, and it's going to be totally out of time, coast to coast, crazy live stream jam. All right, it's just straight up. And if you'd rather, I can switch it to C. But you seem to be like
I'm a trained professional. I can handle it.
Yeah, I think you can go a step up.
So we have to say goodbye to everybody. So sing along at home. Basically, if you don't know where to write to us, just listen to the song. P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine 04098. Grandma loves this show. We can't wait to see some of you back here next Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and all the very wonderful and amazing time zones around the globe. We love you guys. And so let's just do it. It's going to be completely a big mess, and that's just part of the charm, right? All right. Thanks for being on Postcards, David.
Thanks for having me.
What's that?
I said, thanks for having me.
You got it. You got it, man. All right. Here we go. When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves the show? She listens every time. You don't need a reason. You don't need a rhyme. Write a postcard to P.O. Box 1252. Just write a postcard. 04098. Just write a postcard to Westbrook, Maine. 'Cause Grandma loves this show. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again to David Gans. Lots of love, everyone.